It is starting to become part of that conversation today. So, look, I'm not going to rabbit on for a lot longer. Fundamentally, our sustainability plan is anchored with 3 pillars: environment, community, and economy. Community is our biggest focus right now. As Spencer told you, we're a city port. Our engagement with the city and our neighbours historically has not been good. We've been taken to task, and the truth of the matter is we are still learning, but that learning has provided us opportunities for improvement. So again, those diverse environments that we heard about, those don't happen just from port to community. In Spencer's example, we could be discharging a 2000 brand new European discharge from Wilhelmston, discharging containers, and 50 meters away, we're discharging 30,000 tons of coal. Even within those environments, there are conflicting demands from a sustainable environment perspective that don't necessarily make it easy to engage with your community. So do find a way to make all of that work. Listen to your people, listen to your community. So our emissions roadmap, 2019 science-based targets approach. We are continuing a replacement program of all of our diesel passenger vehicles on site, moving them over to EVs. We've been fortunate enough to partner up and identify a fairly good EV, the Nissan EV2000. It is second-hand out of Japan, but it meets our needs, and that program is rolling out. We are currently establishing an on-port hydrogen refueling program. What we certainly see as the long-term strategy for heavy transport is hydrogen is more than likely the answer, because it removes the EV battery challenge, which is the weight challenge. It is also from a pure user, plug it in like a petrol station, 3 to 5 minutes to refuel. There are some challenges in what is available in hydrogen at the moment, but ultimately I think you look at the likes of Hyundai, Toyota, they are all heading down alternative fuel ways, and we just believe hydrogen will be part of that future for us. It also ties in with our Auckland Council's commitment as part of the C40 Cities Initiative to replace all of the public transport buses with hydrogens, because they are now available. So it is about not just our strategy, but the wider Auckland and the wider New Zealand strategy. New Zealand signed up to the Paris Accord, so it is on us as an organisation to make sure we are doing our part in that space. We've recently appointed a general manager of sustainability environment. That is our key, we believe, that piece of our business is, and ensuring that we all have a hand on the wheel in delivering that change. 2025 carbon neutral and 2040 zero emissions, zero waste to landfill. These are ambitious targets. Like anything in life, you've got to have something to strive for. So certainly get on board. I know you guys are doing it. You live and breathe it more than most of us. So I know you're probably doing it better than probably most of us. While hydrogen, I gave you a quick rundown of that. Fundamentally, rail will eventually go the way of hydrogen. Where we believe their first step into that will actually be in the gen sets for roof transit, not necessarily in the loco itself. The current, what we've been told by Kiwi Rail is the current locos that are playing in that space don't have the grunt for cargo to look at hydrogen as the alternative fuel. And again, I touched on this, New Zealand signed up to the Paris Accord. Auckland Council is putting together a climate plan, and C40 Cities, which is about the migration of public transport to hydrogen and fuels. And hopefully, I haven't let the team down, and I've kept up the value of the
Thank you, Justin. Any other questions from the floor? Okay.
Plenty. Gentlemen, I'm so proud that I hold a New Zealand passport, and Cook Island is part of New Zealand. And and we have this free, what you call travel to New Zealand. And listening to you too, they are telling us that you are prepared to help any neighboring islands or whatever countries to be on board with your presentation. The challenges ahead of us, I can see, is going to be difficult, but it's only one way to move forward is to take up the challenges. Well, I'm asking you too, if it's possible that the Cook Islands become the first port of this ecosystem energy, if you can use us Cook Island port as the pilot project. So before we move on to other Pacific islands, seeing that we are part of New Zealand. We call New Zealand, Cook Island, we are the suburb of New Zealand. Please help us for this project, this pilot.
Do we get an invite if we make
Yes,
it
you are on the list now. Both of you are on the list. Please come with the others. It's very interesting, the challenges ahead of us. And the Cook Islands, we've been talking about this. In our meetings, we've been talking about that 2020 will become a year of zero emission, but I don't think it will happen. But it's a long way to go, but it's good to know that everybody's working towards that task. Thank you very much. Come to the Cook Islands.
It's good to hear that you've invited some males to the Cook Island. Yesterday, only ladies are invited. Any other questions from the floor?
For our good presenter.
No other questions? So big hands to Spencer and Okay, we'll go on to our next speaker from Kalma, Australia, Michael Wahab and John Nash. Michael is the Solution Sales Director for Kalma in the Asia Pacific region. Specializing in the mobile equipment sector, Kalma, part of Cargo Tech Corporation, provides cargo handling solutions and services to ports, terminals, distribution centers, and heavy industries. Kalma is the industry forerunner in terminal automation and energy-efficient container handling. With close to 20 years of experience in the port container handling business, Michael has a deep understanding of the port business around the APAC region. Michael holds the position of Solution Sales Director and has pioneered various solutions for customers that have added value and efficiencies to their operations. And his partner, Mr. John Nash. John is the Port Crane Sales Manager for Kalma in the Asia Pacific region. Kalma, part of Cargo Tech Corporation, provides cargo handling solutions and services to ports, terminals, distribution centers, and heavy industry. Kalma is the industry forerunner in the terminal automation and energy-efficient container handling. With close to 10 years of experience in the port container handling business, John has a deep understanding of the port business around the APAC region. John has managed many complex terminal automation projects from inception to delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hands to Michael and John. Thank you.
Almost tackling the issues. I guess there are many drivers that are forcing industry to look at how they approach the environment. We see three main ones. There's legislative drivers, there's economic drivers, and of course there's local interest group driving these outcomes. Is basically on the area between the sea freight and the land freight. We generally tend to play in that area, although Cargotec, the parent company of Kalmar, also participates in the other ends. Our strategy is basically made up of 3 pillars. We see gains in systems efficiency, emissions efficiency, resource efficiency.
Thanks, and hello, everyone. As Michael said, one of the pillars one of the areas they can control is the TOS. It's a fairly low-cost option to find efficiencies within the TOS around the optimization, housekeeping, that type of port production areas. The TLS is another low-cost efficiency tool. The equipment control with speeds and the other engine telemetry items that they can control to keep the efficiency high. Next one. Yep. Next, please. If you read there, see one of the main drivers for that is, next slide, please. So one of the areas that Kalmar has been heavily developing is in the hybrid solutions. The Kalmar hybrid machine, just as an example, a typical machine would run an 11-litre engine. The Kalmar hybrid runs a 4.4-litre engine, estimating around 40% of fuel gains from that. Yep. Yeah, this is just some results. It's quite interesting. Port of Virginia was one of the early adopters for the hybrids in their shuttles, and those numbers will give you a bit of about a 40% drop in what normal consumption would be for those units. Thanks. The latest development that Kalmar is working on is a fully electric fast charge machine. As you can see, what it is the machine will drive in under that pantograph, park up. The best optimization for the machine would be getting opportunity charging of about 5 minutes. So in between jobs, the machine would park under that, pantograph lowers down, gets as much charge. ASCs are inherently eco-friendly anyway. They're an electric machine. They do have a regen facility. As the machine lowers, it will charge, put some charge back into the grid. There's no real game changer in that area. And it's similar to ASCs. The STS cranes are only going to be incremental benefits because they're fully electric anyway. So again, driver training, incremental.
And it's proven to minimize your fuel consumption or reduce your fuel consumption by up to 40%. We have launched a program for the Eco Reach Stacker where Kalmar recently announced the launch of our electric terminal tractor, and I believe we've received our first orders out of South America. For many years now, we've had a 5 to 9 ton electric offering. Over the last 18 months, we've introduced a 9 to 18 ton offering, and both offerings have been converted to lithium-ion in the last. The last area you want to talk about is resource efficiency, and Kalmar is very active in this area. We offer a consultancy service where we will look at any damaged equipment, repair it. We'll look at modifying existing equipment so that it can suit new applications. We'll look at extending the life of equipment, and I guess planning upgrades, etc. Just photos of samples of the stuff that we do. The next one. A commitment to offer a full electric range of all its existing models by 2021. That's it.
Any questions from the floor? Okay, there's one question. Yeah. One question.
Very seriously towards electrification. I think it's the only way to go. I think there's a lot of discussion about clean port, green port growth, but it seems to me that we tend to overlook the question of fuel that we continue to use at the moment. I have some experience of the Port of Auckland and the health issues. And the problem is not entirely what happens ship to the wharf, ship to shore as such, because there is some electrification now in Auckland. It's more the wharf to truck and the truck services and the heavy fuel the trucking system use. And that's the real problem in many cities. And if it's not controlled, it's going to have an effect to port systems such as we have in the Pacific. More seriously is the overall emissions problem that all countries need to face up to. And it does raise the fact that unless heavy fuel usage, the carbon is controlled, countries, smaller countries in